make your mind up to say that you want to be good at something. So I'm not answering that one. And I said to myself that I realize as being a leader, I'm going to have to present. I'm going to have to focus on what my weaknesses are. You know, watch different presenters. Some of them also will come up here and they'll, which actually now I'm rarely conscious of. You know, they'll go to a slide like this and says, well, yes, I'm here to present business expectations. I'm going to jump to a presentation. Here are the rankings, improving business margins and focused on growth. Again, don't read it. You could read the slide. You got to talk out of it. Again, the skills are two ways. There are training classes, and I'll tell you to take them on how to present. Pay for it. They'll videotape you. They'll give you pointers. I'm not doing them all because I know some of them. They always used to tell me, you know, just don't use your right hand. Just if you're on left, just kind of do like a little Vanna White on a show when you point. So I'm not even perfect at it. But if you're aware of it, you'll be good at it. The second thing, which is actually very important, practice, 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 practice. There's nothing else about it. Somebody on my team, and I've given him a lot of experience, and everyone says, how come you're not presenting anymore? You keep giving this one person who I'm my successor, they're doing only town hall presentations. I do about 6 a year. In the last year, you only did 1, and he's done 5. Practice, practice, practice. And he wants to be a successor, so I've been giving to him. And I have to tell you, I just had his performance appraisal, and I said, in 1 year, you've done so much better. So a combination of both. Volunteer. I mean, I'm at the stage now that if I was sitting in the crowd and someone said, hey Jason, come up and talk to us about that strategy. To do it. And the other thing is practice for the mirror.
Jason, can you kind of describe a typical day for you, what you do, and also maybe 3 things you do every day in the job?
So the question was to describe a typical day for me.
As a CIO.
Yep, as CIO, sure. And then 3 things that I do every day. So I don't know if I can say just the day because it has to go over a week. But clearly, one of them is working with the team and understanding where we are against our deliverables. So a bottom line is are we delivering? Anybody can talk. And you'll all know you have project deliverables. We have a lot going on. So my day is meeting with key IT resources on our deliverables. Are there any roadblocks? Is anything being escalated to me? And do you need my help? So that's number 1. Number 2 is then taking the pulse of my business. I just heard my team tell me how good we're doing. I heard the areas that we have roadblocks. I will go and I will call presidents or I'm in meetings within my business, key stakeholders as we call them. We're about to deliver a new reporting tool, and I just had an update. You have resources that are helping us to test. Are you hearing the same? And you'll know that perception reality, yes or no. It allowed me to calibrate. Then the third is visiting with customers. What do they need? So I do go on customer visits. Not a lot of CIOs do. Existing customers and potential customers. So I think it's those 3 areas that you call day in, day out. There are other things in the role, which I do want to get to, but looking at the strategic alignment, making sure we're being an innovator, everything I tie to. But those are the 3 that I'd say there. A typical day for me, yes, is a lot of meetings. And that's one thing that we have to see how we can be more productive at. So meeting, but clearly also mentoring people. So what you try to do is, if you're in a meeting, is to say less, listen more, and allow your team to speak up. I tell you, if I actually took control of the meeting, then the people will not actually shine as leaders. They're all waiting for Jason to say something. I don't need to say anything. And there's times that a question will be asked and the room is silent. And so all of a sudden they're all looking at me to answer the question. I'm not going to answer it. Why? I mean, I'll let you answer it. If I disagree, I'll change it afterwards, but at this point, answer it. So it's meetings, mentoring our people, and then day in, day out is always the pulse on the business. So those are the 3 that happen pretty much consistently. Yes?
Yes, how do you integrate your IT team as part of the business process in terms of getting to selling cycle? And also, do you sign with the business unit on the service level agreement in case you cannot deliver, you probably get in trouble. But if you don't sign it, how could you measure it?
So 2 questions there. It does go through my organizational structure of how do we get embedded within the business. So I do have a team, it's called my Business Solutions Group. They're not technical people. Some of those resources I actually hired from the recall business. They are people who are in operations, somebody came out of customer care, so I've immediately brought credibility to the IT team because they are business people. And their responsibility is to be that bridge between the business and IT. Some people call them business analysts, but they're really not even business analysts. They are there just for communication. The business solution manager that I'm talking about sits at the business table, does the budgeting cycle, does reporting, is a point of escalation if there's ever any issues in one of those regions. So you need a team that is just business focused. They can be IT people, but they better have, the background in the business. They know how to speak the language. And really, if we shut down the IT team, the business wants them. So that's that first step. Service level agreements are always a little touchy because we're going to come up with a service level agreement. We agree upon it together, but they're going to tell you, I hear you, but it's not really what I want. Then I'm going to say, well, I need more resources, I need more investments, I need more money to put in a data center for disaster recovery. And they're like, well, I don't want to give you any more money. And I say, well, then this is the service level agreement. So you have to manage, once it's agreed upon, it has to be managed in a sense that you're giving them the scorecard and reporting back to them. But I can always tell you, we've come into a society now that technology-wise, if you're not up all the time, you're failing. Think about it personally for us. I mean, I go on the web all the time. I mean, have we ever seen the web down? I go on and I do my banking online. I pay my credit cards online. I can tell you right now, the banks are never down. I go on and do all my airlines. So I think internally to us, it's the same. So while I do like to have a service level agreement, really the service level agreement is, it's no longer 99.999, it's 100% up all the time. The only time it should be down is when you agree upon a maintenance with them. And I think, and I know my team will roll their eyes at me, but I think we can design with cost effectiveness, not spending a lot of money, that we are redundant, that we should not have to be down. I think that was, one question, sorry. Okay.
Next question, yeah. Many thanks for sharing experience with us. One question for customer. So for the big company, it's easy to get a customer. You have advertisement, everything. You have a marketing group. But for very small company, like you don't have anything except you, how do you make more customers? Do you have some more strategy or?
So is the question, how do I get more customers or how do I find customers?
Find or get, doesn't matter.
So let's start from an IT perspective. Let's
Okay.
make it even easy.
Yeah.
If I'm a small company, I do have some vendors. Maybe my PCs are Dell, maybe my servers are HP, maybe I'm a Microsoft shop. A lot of organizations, whatever you do, whether you're in the software business, consultancy arm, even if you're in consumer packaged goods, they probably want to use your services. So as you're about to do an agreement with Microsoft, and you're in the IT realm, why don't you call your Microsoft rep in and say, we're a consultancy organization and our area of expertise is making financial organizations efficient. Microsoft, don't you have a finance team? I mean, we're doing business with you. Can you become a customer of ours? So what you need to do is think out of the box on who customers can be. So I can tell you in my company, I'm talking to all my vendors and saying, guess what? And I know we're bigger, but guess what? Vendor X, you want me to spend that $5 million? Are you using my services? No. Well, I think you better. So again, you have to think out of the box how to get these customers. Some of it is networking. So if you're in the line of putting in healthcare systems, maybe there's some folks here whose family members are in the healthcare profession, work at a hospital, maybe they're doctors. So the question is who can I network here? And say, I didn't realize that, your daughter, runs the ER for one of the medical hospitals. Can I talk to them? Can I network? So you've got to be really very creative on it. Now, unfortunate for me, I'm getting my leads, as you stated, through a marketing team. So I don't just wake up one day and pick up the phone and trying to get a customer. So the skills that you're asking for probably bleed over to having sales and marketing skills as well. Not to say you can't do it. Not to say you can't, but then you have to leverage those skills on one network.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's have a round of applause for Jason's great presentation. I learned a lot, and I hope you guys learned the same thing. And we have, as appreciation, we will have Charlie to present you a certificate of appreciation. And